If you love what you do, you are not working a day in your life. One of the most dreaded things salespeople want to avoid at the end of their sales presentation is the infamous "I want to think about it." There are lots of videos online with sales trainers talking about how to overcome these objections. Most of them are missing the point. Why? The reason why they are completely beside the mark is that "I want to think about it" is actually not an objection. It is an obstacle to closing the sale, but not an objection. "I want to think about it" actually hides an objection. Your job, if you want to get your product sold, is to discover what objection it actually hides and whether it is a real objection or just a smokescreen. So, how can we go about that? The first thing to do is to acknowledge what they just said. As I mentioned in other videos, when you do this, it is critical to appear sincere and not robotic or salesy. You have to show real interest, and the best way to do that is to truly listen to what your prospects say. It could go something like this. "Okay, John, I understand. It seems to me that you like what we discussed so far and that you can see that our product will really help you in your business. You just want some time to think about it, right? Do you remember the TV series Columbo?"
I'm sorry, very much, sir. We're making this disturbance. I really can't tell you. My name is Columbo. I'm from the police.
Maybe you are too young to have been watching it when it actually aired, but you probably know the character Peter Falk was playing. It is such a classic. When he would meet with a suspect and he believed that person was guilty, he would always act as if he was about to leave the room. That allowed the suspect to let his guard down. Then Peter Falk would turn around and ask one more question, but in an almost casual way. By asking these questions, he knew that how the person would answer would actually get him so much closer to solving the case. When you are getting this, I would like you to do the same thing. You can start packing your material and act as if you're about to leave. That action will produce an immediate effect of having your prospects relax, as they will believe that you're not going to pressure them into a sale. And then you can just ask, "I'm just curious, John, what particular aspect of what we just discussed do you really want to think about?" Then you could follow up with something like that. "Is it the investment? Is it maybe the timing of doing it? Is it the amount of time maybe it will take your staff to learn how to use our product?" And the way they answer this will tell you whether they are seriously considering buying your product or not. This is critically important, as too many salespeople waste an incredible amount of time following up with prospects who will never buy from them. So now you are ready to hear whether they have a real objection or not. If they do have a real objection, it's great, because you are then back in the saddle and you have an opportunity to, number one, answer that objection by clarifying that it really is not a problem. When you do that, you always have to remind them at the end about a bigger benefit that makes this perceived objection look much smaller. For example, part of the package we offer, John, is that we actually include a full training day in your business and at no charge. We make sure that we do not leave your business until we are sure that everybody is comfortable and excited with the implementation of the new product. You remember that you agreed that you needed something new to differentiate you from your competition, don't you? If they say yes, I then assume the sale is done. Then I move into the next phase, which is actually the close. You have to find a way to do this in a very smooth and organic way. I like to remind them of something that creates urgency. It would be great for you, John, to implement this product now, as winter is the time when your competition is the most aggressive. We have a brand new product ready for delivery the first week in November, And I could make it happen for your staff to be trained at the same time. How does this sound? If they do not have a real objection, you will then find out right away. They will say something like, well, I never make a decision on the spot, or I want to discuss it with my wife. If it is the latter, I ask if I can have a meeting with his wife as well. That is so important because otherwise, your chances of closing that sale are very low. Your prospect will only remember a very small part of what you said. And the actual cost of implementing your product is really what is going to stick out at the end. People are creatures of habit, and most of us do not like change. There is a natural inclination to always revert back to old habits, status quo, and what is familiar to us. It is when we are inspired, educated, emotionally moved that we implement the best new things in our businesses and by extension in our lives. I like to remind prospects that the actual amount of time we think about a decision of whether or not to implement something new in our business does not actually equal the quality of the decision we make. I remember hesitating for months about a decision to start a particular service in one of my companies I own and agonizing over that decision for 2 or 3 months. I finally decided to go ahead. And it was one of the worst decisions I have ever made in business. On the other hand, things I decided to implement on the spur of the moment turned out to be the best things I have ever done. So really, it doesn't matter how long we think about something, whether or not to do it or not in our business. It doesn't mean that it's going to be a best decision in the end. The best decision is going to be made when we have all the facts in front of us and we are inspired to make a decision to create a positive change in our business. So thank you for listening and go get them.